Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Torontopia. Today's video is a walk around the hidden courtyards of Toronto. But we're also going to be going through laneways and public spaces, squares and parks. These are not just places that are hidden, but places that are just kind of out of the way and the kind of place that tourists usually don't go to. I watch a lot of travel videos about Toronto, and people tend to go to like a few of the major parks, but you don't see too many people venturing off into the smaller hidden gems around the city. So I'm going to be taking you to different places to show you the smaller, lesser known parks and hidden little courtyards and cool little laneways around the city of Toronto. Our first stop today is Town Hall Square, which is a little park, public square that's located right beside the Yorkville Library. The main entrance to this square is on Yorkville Avenue, just at the front of the park. And this is located in, of course, Yorkville, which is one of Toronto's most exclusive neighborhoods. It's where you go if you want to do high-end shopping. If you're looking for Gucci, Cartier, or any of those major designers, most of them are all located on either Yorkville or right on Bloor Avenue. And now we are heading to our second destination, which is a little park that has been established right across from the Four Seasons Hotel, which is a fairly new hotel. It's been open for a couple of years. It's one of Toronto's 5-star hotels, and they built this little public park here. It's a quite nice park, but you never see it full of people. Very rarely do you see people walking around this park. And I guess because it's kind of out of the way. It's not a high-profile park. It's a very small, pretty little park. They have a cool water feature, which is not turned on now, but that wall right there, mist comes up. It's very well laid out and designed. It's a nice place to just hang out, have a coffee. This is located on the east side of Bay Street, which is not the main part of Yorkville. The place where all the tourists go is west of Bay Street. Now over here you have something that's quite strange. You see a fountain ahead, but there's no water in this fountain. Funny thing is, when the fountain was first put out, it actually had water. There was water that ran down the fountain. It looked really nice. But then they were worried that the exclusive guests of the hotel would not want to get splashed with water. So they put in a marble base and turned it more into like just a work of art. Unfortunately, it was quite nice when it was a fountain. It's nice to sit in the park and you hear the water dripping down. Right there is the fire hall, Yorkville Fire Hall. And also the library is located there. This is also on Yorkville Avenue, closer to Bay Street. Here you got the condos. But the Four Seasons Hotel also has condos above it. Exclusive condos. Our next location is 525 Adelaide Street West. This is a new condo development which has a publicly accessible space in the back. A lot of new condos and office towers in Toronto are developing spaces that are called POPs, privately owned, publicly accessible spaces, and they're for the general public to use, but they're owned and maintained by the condos or the office towers. So these are nice new little parks and public spaces that we can just go in, hang out, have a coffee, eat lunch, and just enjoy. So this is one of those spaces, I believe. It's hidden because it's behind the condo, and as you can see there's a street there, but that's just a small little side alleyway. So it's very easy to walk by this place and not even know it exists. This is located in the King West District, which is an upscale neighborhood on the west side of Toronto near Bathurst and King. For our next location, we are back at trendy Yorkville. Now we're in the back entrance to Yorkville Village Shopping Center, an upscale shopping mall. It's kind of a cool little courtyard. They got little statues and different things here. It's surrounded by art galleries, this area. The front of the building is located at 55 Avenue Road. But right now we're in the back courtyard, just checking it out, looking at the weird art. Yorkville has a lot of these little courtyards and alleyways and publicly accessible places that people just hang out. It's a nice neighborhood to get lost in. I especially love the retail alleyways and all the different connections they have that go through different developments. Now we are heading back out to Hazelton Avenue. Another one of those Yorkville courtyards. Which I read recently might be developed into a condo. This is a nice little courtyard. I love these hidden little spaces that the public has access to cut through and just check them out. Now we are on Avenue Road. Now here's a very small little kind of laneway courtyard. This is located in the Gay Village. This is Radio City condos, but I just thought that this artwork was really cool to have in front of the condo. Places you can just sit and hang out. They all have lights inside them, so at night they glow. It's located right beside the Ballet Center, National Ballet of Canada Training Center. And there's Jarvis Street straight ahead. So this is just the entrance to a condo, but it's publicly accessible, and it's got a cool seating area. So here we go. Now we're heading out to Jarvis Street. And here we are, right beside the Eaton Center. So if you take a turn right here before you get to Joey's Restaurant, you head down this long corridor, and then you get to a part of, it's not really part of the Eaton Center, but I guess it's the courtyard of the Eaton Center that very few people actually go to. A lot of people go in the Eaton Center, they have no idea that there's this public little space out there. Even if you're walking down Bay Street, which is another one of the entrances, it's very hard to see. You can walk right by it without even noticing it. You got this beautiful old historic church, and then surrounding it you have all public space and a fountain and a courtyard, and it's a great place to have lunch. A lot of people just hang out here. But a lot of people don't know about it, especially tourists. Tourists come to the Eaton Center, they never ever film this area because they don't know it's there. There's even outdoor restaurants in the area too. It's got a kind of a European feel to it. Lots of small, intimate spaces. I really like this area. Now, of course, it also has a lot of homeless people that have nowhere to go and they hang out in these public spaces. But that's just part of big city life. Whenever you live in a big city like Toronto, you're always going to be dealing with social issues and people that have mental illness and drug addiction and things like that. As a matter of fact, there's right on the side here, there's a little memorial for people that have passed away. I think they list the names of all the homeless people that have died in the city. See, there's the Eaton Center. But it's very easy to go to the Eaton Center and not even know this is here. And there you have outdoor restaurant patios. Church of the Holy Trinity. Great place for dining. Nice little intimate square. And right here they have, I'm not sure what this is called. They have a huge circle with a path through it, and people walk around the path for meditation. There you go. There's kind of like this little maze and people follow the path. I see people coming here to walk this path. Helps people meditate, I guess, or maybe it's a spiritual experience. I'm not sure what they're called, but I just see people doing that. Right here, you're in the heart of downtown Toronto, but you wouldn't know it when you have this quiet little space here. Right beside the Eaton Center. This church is really nice inside too. I've been there a few times. Now for some reason they had the fountain turned off, I believe. Here's where the fountain is. No water coming out, but normally that's where the water is flowing out. And straight ahead you have Bay Street. And right across the street you have Toronto City Hall. But this is another kind of out-of-the-way place. Hidden to many people. I guarantee you there's lots of people that live in Toronto that have never ever been here and have no idea that it even exists. They go to the Eaton Center, you know, every now and then, but they don't look and see what's behind the Eaton Center. Great church. Beautiful historic church. I don't know, to me it's got a very kind of European feel to it. The massing of the buildings and just the layout of the square. Whenever I go to the Eaton Center, I always come out here to relax. If I buy any food, I like to eat it outside here in the square. And this is the way back out to Dundas Street West, main shopping street. And we're back in Yorkville again, this time on Courtyard Street, to check out this little laneway. Like I said before, there's lots of little laneways in Yorkville that cut through, and they have quite attractive little squares built into them. Like this one here, you got a lot of greenery. It's just a nice, pleasant place to walk. Lots of different plants and planters and gardens and things like that. Nice places to sit and hang out. This is a condo development. Yorkville used to be all stores and restaurants, but over the last century, or rather the last, what am I saying, century, over the last decade, the last 10, maybe 20 years, condos have started going up, and now basically Yorkville is surrounded by expensive condos, luxury condos. So this is what this is. This is the little publicly accessible space that was provided by the condo development. And there's stores attached in the front. Got a nice little fountain there. It's a very pleasant laneway and little public square area. Yorkville was not always a ritzy area. In fact, back in the 60s, it was a hippie hangout that was known for buying and selling drugs, and coffee shops where people hung out and listened to Joni Mitchell and folk singers of the day. And then around the 70s, 80s is when things started to change, and it turned into an upscale, expensive condo area. It's funny how things change. So now we're back out to Yorkville Avenue, which is one of the main shopping strips in Yorkville. And our last development is another one of those POPs, publicly open, privately owned, publicly accessible areas. And I went on a very quiet day. It was in the evening, and COVID-19, this is after COVID-19 had come to the city of Toronto, so as you can see, it's very empty, very dead, but it's a great area. Usually in the summertime it's full of people. A lot of office workers come here to eat their lunch. It's a nice hidden area. If you're walking on, it's right near Yonge Street, and if you're walking along Yonge Street, it's got a little laneway, but you would never notice it because it's so hidden from the street. They have a new big restaurant that opened there with a nice big courtyard in the back. Lucky for them, because once COVID-19 hit, restaurants have had a big problem. So at least they have this huge patio in the back where they can space people out. And you're right near all the office towers, right near Bay Street area. Okay, that's the end of our tour. Hope you enjoyed it. Adios, YouTube.